Welcome back to the Teed Up Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rothrock. We have a cool episode coming your way. Sit down and talk with race car driver Sage Karam, good friend of mine, recently engaged. Congratulations, Sage, and his lovely fiance, Abby. Sage is from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. He's been racing basically anything with four wheels and an engine for as long as I can remember. He's competed in half a dozen Indy 500s, 12 hours of Sebring, 24 hours of Daytona, you name it. Sage has been at it for a long time, and he recently picked up golf. He's got some PXG clubs, he's hitting the links, and kind of caught the bug. So we talk a little bit about the relationship between golf and racing, some of the parallels, some of the things that he focuses on the track, and then we talk about his racing career, which is pretty cool to hear. So definitely be excited for our chat with Sage. Me and Sage actually did a 8-inch cup scramble, 2-man scramble, 8-inch cup. Didn't perform so well, but it was really fun. I had a lot of fun golf with him. So definitely tune in for that. In the meantime, there's some stuff that I kind of want to figure out, see where you guys are at, if you're listening, if anybody's out there listening to me. Saw on the news, people are like so critical of Bryson DeChambeau. He with him working out, getting his body in peak physical condition, and he's to hit it far. He's super strong. He put on like 40 pounds, and for some reason, there's criticism. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you could criticize somebody for trying to get an edge on the competition. And there's calls out to, change the rules or whatever. And it just blows my mind that somebody can't be rewarded for their hard work when that's what professional sports is all about, gaining an edge on the competition. I do understand, though, that golf is a unique sport because the arena has more to do with the competition than most. Like the golf course itself plays a much bigger role in the game than the basketball court plays in a basketball game. Everybody's competing. Like every basketball court, no matter if you're playing at Wells Fargo Arena or at the Staples Center, it's the same dimensions. Everything's the same about it. So you can't, there's no variable change going from venue to venue other than atmosphere, the crowd atmosphere. So I get that. How, the court, you're up against the course, and if the course is no match for a man or woman that can overpower the course, that could present a problem. But that's not his fault. You gotta reward Bryson for being able to overpower the course. I think that you wouldn't do it. You couldn't do it in any other sport. You couldn't, the NBA has changed too over time. The players are much more athletic. They run faster, jump higher. Advancements in strength and conditioning and diet, everything has improved the athleticism in the sport. But nobody's like, hey, we got to put these rims up to 13 feet now because people are jumping too high. That'd be crazy. And if that does happen, I'll stop watching. I'm done. I want to see it. And actually, racing, speaking of Sage and racing is the most similar sport in that aspect where the venue plays a bigger role. Each track is a little different, so strategy it comes into play. And preparation. You got to. That's the thing I really enjoy about both sports is the attention to detail that has to happen before the competition starts. And in terms of golf and in terms of Bryson, there's nobody that's more precise and more detail oriented and more data driven. He knows what he's doing. He's so prepared. So when you add that level of preparation with being able to hit it 370 yards, you're going to have somebody that's going to overpower the golfer. I'm not even a huge fan. Like, I'd rather see other people win, but I don't think you can penalize somebody or criticize somebody for just putting themselves in a position to have an edge on the competition. And I think casual golf fans like to see the ball going very far. I know I like to hit it very far. I don't. I'd love to hit it farther. And if you polled, I'm talking about the thing about data, I can just make, I haven't done any research here, but I think I would guess if you polled 100 golfers, casual weekend warrior golfers, and said, what would you want most about, what would you like to improve on in your game? Every one of them would say, I'd like to hit it farther. So you got somebody out there on TV, a professional, doing that. That's what the casual golf fan likes to see. You know, like hitting it to 10 feet on a 400-yard par 4 is cool. You don't have to be a knowledgeable fan of the game to see how that's pretty badass. Or going driver pitching wedge into a 600-yard par 4. That's like that's impressive. So I don't know. I think you reward somebody who puts the time in and puts the blood, sweat, and tears into putting them in a position to being better. What do I know, though? I would like to know what you guys think about Bryson and where you think the game goes or what happens. Like, you also said, if you do make changes to the game because of people hitting it far, like, where does that end then? Like, I think you open up Pandora's box a little bit. Can we make the cup smaller? Make the ball like, I don't know. I think if you allow golfers to go from hitting drivers made out of wood, legitimate wood, actual wood with nails and shit in it, to now 460 cc titanium heads, I think you should allow somebody to put 40 pounds on and jack up their club head speed. I don't know. But I'd love to hear your opinion. Love to hear what you think. But in the meantime, sit back. Going to talk to Sage Karam for a little bit and enjoy the show. Ho! What's up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Teed Up. One of my favorite people on the planet is the guest tonight. A golfer. The guy can hit bombs.
Big bombs.
You know, putts for dough, and also drive some race cars too. But without further ado, you're looking at race car driver Sage Karam, also PXG athlete. Can't forget that.
Oh yeah, I should have worn my PXG visor you gave me.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, man, that's all right. Yeah. That'd have been dope. But dude, thanks for coming on, hang with us for a little bit. You are kind of in the middle of race season, so getting some time to chat is always a plus.
Yeah, I mean, it's been weird times in general right now. Just, race season kind of just starting for us, which is weird. It should have been started, 3 or 4 months ago. But with the times being tough right now, it's been busy, So they're in Iowa right now. Our good buddy Marco's there racing. They're going to qualify in about an hour. So cool. That should be interesting. Should be fun to watch. And, getting ready to go. Indy 500 will be in August this year. So that's strange. Used to doing that all in May, but August 23rd is my next one for that. So
yeah, you're running in it for anybody that doesn't know. You will be at the Indy 500. How many starts in the last 4 Indies, 5 Indies?
I think 6.
6, dude. You're getting old, bro.
I know, man. It's catching up, but Yeah, I think it's my sixth, or I've done six. This will be my seventh. I'll be with John Reinbold Racing again. I've been with them. This will be my sixth time with them. I've only done it one other time. Not in one of their cars. I was Chip Ganassi Racing in 15. So yeah, back in the 24 Wix Filters car. Should be fun.
Awesome. And at the beginning of the quarantine, you guys were doing some iRacing stuff. You had a lot of success. You've been on the simulator a lot. That's kind of like one of your favorite hobbies, right? Other than golf, right? What do you like better, the sim or golf?
I mean, it's a toss up. I mean, I like doing like all the cool events on the sim. Like when we can get, when we do like simulated race runs of like Daytona 24-hour or the Sebring 12-hour, and we do those big events. Those are a lot of fun to do. But just day to day, like I love to get out of the house and go golf for sure. But I've been sim racing for a long time, since like 2007. So, not being full time, I've been doing a lot of sim racing, just staying sharp. So when the opportunity came up that we were going to be doing it, it kind of played into my favor, and we won the opening race with that. So it was a good time. It was a lot of fun, and my phone was just ringing off the hook from all the drivers just trying to get their sim set up. Everybody was like buying sims and didn't really know what to do. So I was like the most popular guy. I had a lot of friends, it felt like.
Well, dude, you're a well-liked guy, not only in racing, but everywhere. But yeah, so for somebody that doesn't really maybe understand, how similar is a sim race to an actual IndyCar?
I mean, it's got the majority of the stuff is pretty good, and then you're doing strategies and stuff like that are pretty spot on with what you would do in real life. But then it's like the little details, I think, that get lost. Like you don't really feel the car as much as you would in real life. You gotta, you feel all these little details in real life, through your hands, through your butt, when the car's bottoming and stuff like that. So you feel all those little details that you don't feel on the sim. And It's almost like you need a really, a much bigger detail in the sim to happen before you get that feeling.
You won the first race and you had success, and like you said, you'll be back in the seat in August for the Indy 500. But in the meantime, golf has something that you've picked up not too long ago, right? You haven't been you grew up, you wrestled growing up, you weren't like on the golf team. What made you pick up the sport, and knowing you, I know you caught the bug pretty hard. So, what do you credit that to?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, I did all these other sports in high school: football, racing, wrestling. I did all that, and I wish I played golf in high school. Like now, it's like I played so much, and I'm just like, why didn't I start this earlier? Like my dad always, when I was growing up, was like, you should play golf, and I was like, no, Dad, that's not cool. That's not cool. Like, I want to play football and stuff, and now it's like I wish I played golf. But mostly, I think the reason I started doing it is just because of, like, you meet so many people on the golf course, and a lot of deals get done with sponsors and stuff, and there's just a lot of opportunity in golf and knowing how to do it. I know how to do it, but I just don't really do it well. I'm okay. I mean, as we've done an event together. So yeah, I mean, I can hit a few straight, but mostly not. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's just something for me to do, get out of the house, and I enjoy it.
Have you been playing a lot?
I was, and then I took off because I had to do the race out in Indy, the road course race. Did that, and now it's just been like so hot. I don't know. Like I've been working out and stuff, and I'm just like exhausted after my workouts. I haven't gotten out, but I'm going out this weekend on Sunday, so I'll go play again. But and when I was out in India, I actually took my clubs with me and I played out there. So hopefully in August, like the golf courses will still be open in Indy.
Yeah.
I'll take my clubs out there with me and can go play like after practice sessions and stuff.
Have you ever played the course at the 85, like on the race grounds?
Yeah, it's hard. It's I think they have like a women's championship there or something every year. A pretty big tournament. So it's nice. It's really, really nice, and it's well maintained. And I feel for like me and drivers that play, it's like more special playing when you're in the speedway, and it's pretty cool. But Yeah, I've played it. It's pretty hard. I don't think I shot well. I think I've only played it one time, but hopefully I can play it some more this August.
How do you stack up with some of the other drivers? I know Graham Rahal golfs, right? I don't know who all does.
I think Graham's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know who else golfs. I haven't gotten out with many of them. I think Chilton, maybe. I think he golfs a little bit. I mean, Marco has golf holes at his house and doesn't golf.
Yeah.
We gotta do that.
I don't think he likes it too much. I think it's too slow.
Too slow play, yeah. No, I could see that. It's definitely a way different pace than what we're used to. Obviously, it's but I enjoy it.
Do you like that for that reason? Is it a way for just for you to wind down a little?
To relax and stuff, I mean, I feel like all the time when you're racing, it's just everything's going at 230 miles an hour. And, even your mind and everything is just spinning, making decisions so fast. In golf, it's the complete opposite. You just can relax, have a beer.
Yeah.
And, have some fun.
I played with you, so I know you hit the ball far. Would that be your biggest strength in your game is, the driver, off the tee?
Well, when I hit it, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't go very far. But if I can hit it well, yeah, I mean, it can go pretty good. So I've been trying to learn the short game stuff, but I don't know. I it's just so hard. It's so technical, and it's just the thing. Cool. Well, I don't know if it's cool or the weird thing about golf is just you could hit one shot and then line up, hit a ball again from the same spot, and one be the best shot of your life and one not be, and you don't feel like you changed a single thing.
Right.
Millimeters, So. Yeah, definitely strange, but I've been on the Bryson DeChambeau diet here recently in quarantine, so hopefully I'll be hitting some 400-yard bombs.
Yeah, dude, it's just I don't even know what really to say about that.
He's hitting long drive, championship numbers in actual play.
Yeah, he's got wedges. He's got half a wedge into a 480-yard par four. It's how do you? And then, but also. He did win, but you should be winning everything. There should be nobody within 8 shots of you. But it just shows you how important the short game is.
Nothing, man. How beefy he got and just how he just tanks it, man.
Does that racing? You always try to I've done a couple of these episodes, and I always try to if I'm not talking to somebody that's a golfer, either trying to pursue golf as a career. They do something else, but I always try to relate what that person's expertise is with golf. Racing, though, you mentioned how one shot can also bring you back. That's you hit that one pure iron shot or one great shot. That's the shot that'll bring you back to play again. Racing, it's kind of feels a little different. You have to keep, you have to be good the whole time. You can't take any shots off, really, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just no time to relax either in racing. It's just all the decisions you got to make got to be perfect. I think what people don't understand is we are literally driving on the absolute edge every lap. It's there's really it's not really you're ever out there just cruising around. And if you are, it's because you have some sort of issue and you're really not you're probably not on the lead lap or whatever. But I mean, when you're on the lead lap and you're battling cars, I mean, you are constantly on edge. So yeah, it's completely different. The two sports.
Yeah. Cause you're in golf, you're only hit the time you spend actually golfing, playing the shot is a fraction of the day that you're out there, right? The swing takes 5 seconds, at most. So you do that. Hopefully you do that no more than 72 times, so. Oh,
man, I do a lot more than that.
But yeah, in a race car, you there's no second where you're just, walking to the next ball.
Yeah. No, it's I think the only time you ever get a breather is down pit lane. And even when you're coming down the pit lane to come to the pits and stuff, you're still either having to reset your weight jackers and bars and you're still not fully relaxed. I mean, you're definitely relaxed to full race running, but you're not fully totally relaxed. And then now, they've added these aero screens to the cars that have just made it so hot. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like it's got to be 130 degrees inside the cockpit, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, like our one buddy actually weighed himself before and after the race at Indy GP, which is just like an hour and a half road course race, and Connor Daly is who I'm talking about. And he lost 12 pounds in that race
Of water, so just sweat.
It's excruciating. It's just it's like how I can describe it is like being in your streetcar or something with the ignition off and just sitting in like a parking lot on a day like today, just like 90 degrees out and just sitting there with no air running through the car, nothing. Like that's
so how are you guys getting cooled off, or are you just not?
You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, like even the water is like boiling. Like, we have water in the car and it's so hot. Like they're trying different things now and like experimenting with different places to like put the water bag and stuff. But when we had it in Indy GP, I mean, they had it basically sitting right behind the radiator. So it was like legitimately boiling. And it would like burn as you drink it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's not even like it doesn't help.
It doesn't quench your thirst if you have to drink boiling water.
No, so it's you're just straight sweat and hot for green to checkers.
Well, that kind of it reminds me. You mentioned we played in a golf tournament together. That day it was the opposite. I don't know. It was like
it was
rain,
like and cold. It was like sleeting.
Yeah, it didn't help our golf game either. I don't think it.
Well, we were drinking those like warm cider things.
Yeah. We literally had to get warm apple cider to keep us.
That's so weird.
Do you watch a lot of PGA Tour stuff? Can you watch golf?
I like watching it, and I know they got the tournament going on right now. I was hoping Tiger was going to be a bit stronger, but it's not looking like he's going to be winning this one by any means. But I'm pulling for him to get he wants to get that next win. So
yeah, 83. Is that your guy? Is Tiger your guy?
You can't not, like root for him. I obviously I think he's just good for the sport. Like if Tiger's doing well, then golf's doing well.
Right.
When Tiger wasn't like in the mix at all or whatever, it was just kind of like you felt like it would be like Mercedes pulling out of Formula One. It just wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him. I'm like a Koepka fan. I like Koepka just because I think he's like kind of like he goes out and plays, and if he plays good, then he plays good. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He doesn't really make excuses, and I also think like he doesn't I've heard him say before, like he doesn't like play all the time and stuff. Like he plays a lot, like in the for matches and stuff, and that's like what you see. Like he doesn't really practice a lot. He's just naturally good at it, which is crazy.
It's crazy that, I mean, Brooks Koepka is like, and all these guys like Dustin Johnson, even Rory, they're like
Johnson just had a big win, like because he's coming off of like not really doing all that hot like the last year or so. So that was good to see him like figure it out a little bit.
Have you ever been out to a event in person? Have you seen a PGA Tour event in person?
I went out to like a practice day in what's that, Bartestrol or whatever?
Yeah, yep, Bartestrol.
Yeah, I went there for like a practice day and watched some of the guys. There was like a company I was that was like sponsoring me or whatever, and they had like a suite. So they said, hey, if you're around, and I actually had to be out of town when the event was actually going on. So I was like, all right, I'll come out for a practice day. So I was able to like see those guys go through some rounds and stuff, which was really cool. But I've actually never been to like, when it's full bore, and they're going for it.
That's actually a cool, especially for like a fellow professional athlete. You can go see the preparation, because what preparation has to go in for your race week, right? And all the time. So seeing people do that in a sport that you're familiar with, as like, can you learn from that? Is there anything you could take from it, like
golf guys,
just preparation wise? Like, do you notice that the practice round you saw, these guys were like doing more or less preparation than you would have expected?
No, I think they were doing more than what I thought. I mean, it was multiple shots they would do sometimes. Like, that's the stuff you don't really see. Like you see like on TV, like them going out playing, doing well or whatever, and you're just like amazed. But then I think like a lot of people just don't really get actually how much these guys put into it, and will do the same shot just over and over and over until they feel like it's perfected. You know, and there's definitely got to be a science to it too, right? Without like you don't want to like do too much and be tired or whatever, be sore for the next day. Like, so I'm sure there's like a full science like that I don't know about or whatever, but like I'm sure like each guy has their own preparation thing. Like even like in driving too, it's like it comes down to like what you eat the day before, what you're eating the day of. And now it's like this whole thing of it being so hot, like just having to hydrate properly and everything. There's definitely a lot that goes into it that, you know, you don't really get to see.
Right. People, you know, people that are race fans, and a lot of them understand that like there's things that go into it, but you know, the person that just a casual race fan, they might just think it's just you guys just jumping in a car and driving it as fast as you can. They don't like they're set up, you know, you guys, you know, practice like all weekend, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get the car fine tuned.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, even just with like hydrating and everything, like that all starts like a week in advance, you know, just like I'll be like pounding a Pedialyte every day or whatever, like just getting fluids in you. And then, you know, you get to the track, make sure you intake everything proper. And and then like the race before the race day, like the race before race, like the night before, I like to eat something like greasy and just like fill me up like a big burger or something. And that feels good. Cause then I hate like going to the track the next day or whatever, feeling hungry. Like I like
There's got to be probably no worse feeling than being hungry halfway through a extremely physical, hot IndyCar race.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, it's like you can get hungry and stuff. I mean, if anything, we're just so thirsty, and then when the water's just boiling, I mean, it was literally, I kid you not. So like we have these like Camelback bags or whatever, and then it runs a hose all the way up through the helmet, and then there's like a bite nozzle, like, you know, like the bite nozzle thing. So it just isn't just like a regular hose. So you have to like bite it, and then the hole opens up, and then but yeah, it was literally the point where the water was so hot that like it would just like burst out like a geyser out of this thing. like I mean, and it was just like all over the inside of my helmet and everything. I'm like, holy cow, like what's going on? It burns, like it's so bad.
That's wild. Did you grew up in Nazareth, and like you said, you wrestled, you played football. What got you into racing, and who did you look up to in professional sports that inspired you? Because I mean, let's be honest, getting to the level you're at is not easy. Like a lot, like it doesn't happen. It's rare. Mm-hmm. How did you make it happen?
Well, I mean, as you know, the Andretti's is a big name in racing and a big name in the Lehigh Valley. You know, so I was fortunate enough to grow up around them. My dad was Michael's fitness trainer when he was racing full time. I became good friends with Marco, you know, because we'd go up and go-kart every weekend together. So, you know, kind of just being around them got me involved. And, you know, when you're a little kid, you now Marco's house, but when it was Michael's, you know, like when you're a little kid, you roll up in there and you see like all these awesome cars and trophies and the big house and, you know, gorgeous wife. Like you're like, man, you know, professional race car driver looks all right, you know? So, you know, like it started at a young age for me. Like I think I was going up to the Andretti's house when I was like 4 years old. So like, it was always just like an aspiration of just like wanting to get to that level. And they played a big part, you know, helping me get through like the early ranks of karting and stuff. And, you know, my dad's a school teacher, mom's a nurse, didn't really have the funding to do it totally proper. So the Andretti's really got me helped out and started with it. And then, you know, started doing well in that, went to cars. And again, Michael Andretti made a USF 2000 team. And I won the championship in that, then Star Mazda with him as well. And then went to Indy Lights. And then I actually had a team switch they already had their drivers filled for Indy Lights, and I had to go up to Indy Lights that year. So I actually went to Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports and won the championship that year. So then senior year of high school is when I made my professional debut of Indy 500.
Yep.
2014. Yeah, 2014. Started 31st, got 9th, and that was the best finish I've had so far at the 500, which is disappointing. Obviously, I think we definitely had runs that we could have been better and just had some misfortune, my mistakes, mechanical failures and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, it's a blessing for sure of like making it to this level. Like you said, it's just not a lot of people get to experience it, especially with racing. Like it's a very small group of people. Like it's 33 people in the world, every year that get to take the green at Indy, which is, pretty insane. And, I'm just blessed to have done it for 6 times now, going on 7.
Let's talk a little bit about the Indy 500. If people are listening to this that are golf fans, that's the Indy 500 is like the marquee event for you guys. It's a marquee event in sports, really. But would you say it's IndyCar's Masters or US Open, like the combination of both?
Yeah, like whatever your biggest event is in any sport you do, like that's it for us. And it's it's the single most populated sporting event day in history with over 300,000 people in attendance. And the millions that tune in and watch it. I mean, it's insane. Like you win that thing, it changes your life forever. Just like if you win the Masters and stuff, it changes your life. But it's like what every driver wants to win. And like if you don't win it and you don't do well, you got to wait a full year again before you can do it again. So it's like, it's not like you can just like try and bounce back next week and do it again. It's a one-time thing every year, and it's huge. And yeah, it's pretty insane. Like if people haven't been to it before in person, like they need to go because it's pretty incredible. And like people like will be in awe like when they go.
It's like
you're not a race fan,
right? No, I've never been to Augusta, but I imagine that's the same feeling as when you walk through the tunnel at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time, when it's just like you're in a different world. Like there's just hundreds of thousands of people. Everybody's excited. And then there's 33 of you guys, that it's just like, I almost, it's like, it seems to me like bullfighting, you know what I mean? Like where the whole show, you're just waiting for these guys to just strap in and go to battle. You know what I mean? Like, and try to tame the beast, whatever the beast is, whether it's your car or the track. And it's super like impressive. And it's even more impressive when you know somebody in the seat. It takes a whole different meaning to, and so what I've always been curious of is what's going on between your ears. Like when you wake up that morning or the night before, are you sleeping? Like, is it another race? How do you kind of, the magnitude of the event is so big. How do you kind of, keep that in check?
Yeah. I mean, I've worked with sports psychologists now since like I was probably like 13 years old. And it's part of the preparation, of like not getting too psyched up and like, because it's just unneeded energy wasted and everything like that. Like too much emotional energy is not good. And, so like the night before, I'm actually pretty good. Like the night before, like I'll go out to dinner with my family and some sponsors. And then I try and get to bed fairly early just because I know like I might be thinking some things and I might not fall asleep like in the snap of a finger, but I mean, for the most part, I don't feel nervous or anything the night before, so I can sleep pretty good. And then I wake up early. I don't got a bus. A lot of the drivers have a bus and they stay in the track, so they get the luxury of sleeping in. I got a police escort in like super early, and because I mean, if you don't, like you're outside waiting for hours in the line to get in the speedway. So I have to get a police escort in, and that's at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
They can't just let you in. Be like, yo, I gotta I gotta drive.
People get pissed.
Like, yo, let me in. I gotta do this thing.
I'm like, we're putting the show on for you.
Yeah, like I gotta get right. That's my face right up there.
Yeah, no, but it's good. I don't really get nervous until like right after driver intros, where it's like, okay, this is real. This is about to go down, and you're going through the checklist of all the pre-race festivities and stuff like that, and that's when it gets like pretty nerve-wracking for sure. But yeah, I mean, like, and then once you strap in and you give your last kind of hugs to everybody or whatever, and the engine starts, I think all the nerves kind of just go away. And then when you're driving around, you take like those like 2 or 3 warm-up laps you got, and it's cool to just like look around and just see like all these people. Like,
can you hear the people?
No, you can't hear them, but because the engines are like right behind us, and it's pretty loud. But you just see them, and it's just like you just are kind of just taking it in. You look left, you look right. Like, I mean, it's just everywhere you look. There's nowhere you can see that you could like stand or sit or whatever, and it's just it's America, man. Like, it's so cool.
We'll let you out. You gotta go soon. But in a golf event or any other sport, as the athlete competing can feed off the crowd. You hear somebody makes a shot or catches a touchdown, you can hear the roar of the crowd, and that kind of keeps you motivated as the athlete. How do you stay in that red zone of like competitive energy when the crowd you're not able to like hear the roars and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, literally the only thing I can hear is like the people talking to me, like in the in my headset, and it's just like they know. Like, the good thing is I've worked with the same guys for so long. It's like they know what to say, what not to say, like what I do well with. Like, do we try and pump them up? Like, do we?
It's like a caddy,
huh?
It's like a caddy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like, that's what it is. I mean, you're not hearing thousands of people every time like you do, like if you hit a great shot, but like for us, it's like if you do something well, you got the guy in your ear that's like, hey, you're doing well, like keep going. It's like positive reinforcement stuff. But racing's just one of those sports too, where it's just like, you just got to try and stay calm. And if you get too excited or you get too like amped up or whatever, then you usually like screw up or whatever. But I think like one of the cool similarities with golf and racing is just like, the 500 is 500 miles. It's long. Golf is 18 holes, in a day, and they got, 4 rounds or whatever. So, you can't screw up. I mean, it's just like if these guys have 1 or 2 bad holes, they're done, and it's like same thing with racing. It's just like you make one mistake and at 230 miles an hour, it's just boom, you're done. So it's cool, like how you can kind of like see the correlation with that, even though they're totally different sports.
Right. And I think racing and golf, at least immediately, there's always a decision of risk reward. Like, you're deciding if you're going to pass somebody. Well, is this the right time to do it? Does that open me up to, thing like, or should I wait? Golf is the same thing. Do you go for it? Do you kind of play conservative?
Yeah, there's such mental game, both
Mm-hmm.
of them. I mean, it's just like you can easily. I mean, like, how many times have you gone to like a golf course that you've played a bunch of times, and you just know that hole that you just absolutely hate?
Yeah,
and like you're already gonna fail at that hole because it's engraved in your mind that you dislike it.
Right.
Like seriously, you just gotta like enjoy going up. It's just another hole, like whatever. Yeah. But I mean, right? It's so mental, the game, and it's so funny. Like when you like see water and you're thinking, don't hit it in the water, don't hit it in the water. You usually hit it in the water. So
yeah.
It's pretty funny how it works.
All right, well, I'll let you go. I got a couple questions before I let you go. Just fast ones, just whatever you think first. Well, number one, your favorite course you've played?
Firestone Country Club in Akron, Ohio.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
What hole? Do you have any holes that stand out that you loved and ones that you're like, oh man?
I got my first I mean, like, so, all right. So for the viewers, like, I'm not very good golfer. Like, really, I'm not. Like, so like coming by pars or birdies, whatever, like that's great for me. Like a par is great for me. But so like when I went to that course, like I've never been to a course like that before in my life, so it's quite difficult. So I parred 9, so that was like enjoyable because like I was like, oh great, I got my first par on a course like this. It's pretty cool. And then like the one hole that's there that is awesome to play just because of its history or whatever. I think it's 16. It's a par 5, but it's like over 600 yards. It's insane. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably the coolest.
All right. And if you weren't a race car driver, what would you be?
That's tough. I don't know. Because I always just was like, I'm going to be a race car driver. Like
you knew the whole time.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like what, like I never doubted it, I guess. So I never even thought of it. Like what else I would do. I mean, racing's going to come to an end one day. So you'll see me on the senior tour in a few.
That was going to be my next question. You'll be on a Champions Tour golfer. And before last thing, if somebody is listening that wants to be in your situation, whether it's racing or another thing, what advice could you give them on their way up?
That it's okay to, make mistakes and stuff. Like I've made plenty of mistakes, but never make the same mistake twice. Like, it's like, you got to always bounce back, learn from what you made, and keep moving forward with it. Everybody that's done it has made thousands of mistakes and whatever they do. I mean, every golfer's made a bunch of mistakes. Every racer's made a bunch of mistakes. So it's totally fine. And just keep going. Like, there's been so many times where it's just been like, I've had a crash, especially in my situation where it's like I've only been part-time of doing like 1 or 2 races a year in IndyCar. And if like that one race doesn't go well and you crash, it's like, well, this is not one time I had to show myself and like how I could do. And it was a fail. So like there were so many times where it was like I could have just like folded in and whatever, just been done with it. But you just got to keep going because if the door closes, another one opens. It's all this cliche stuff, like
right.
These things, but they're so true.
Right.
But I mean, that's been the story of my career. It's just learn from mistakes and never quit. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, Sage, thanks for taking some time. We're going to get out there on the links soon. And,
yeah, we got to do that 8-inch cup tournament.
Yeah, again, I love the 8-inch cups. I wish every cup was 8 inches.
Oh yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, have a good weekend, man. Thank you. And I'll talk to you definitely before Indy, but the viewers, I hope, wish Sage a good luck. How can people follow you? Just on your
Instagram, Sage Karam Official, Twitter, Sage Karam. That's basically, I'm on those every day. And then, schedule everything that we're doing on my website, sagekaram.com. So cool.
And if you see Sage playing behind you out there on the course, speed it up. He hits the long ball.
Dude, I was just playing at this place in Indy, and I kid you not, we were on this hole. It was like a short par 4 or whatever. It was like only like 310 or whatever, but it was kind of like downhill a little bit. And I missiled this thing. And I mean, like the guys I was playing with Buddy Rice, Indy 500 champion, and 2 other guys that are on my team, like the team manager and stuff. And they're like, maybe you shouldn't hit yet because you've been hitting some pretty long balls. And I was like, yeah, but they've all been going right. Like I'll never hit it straight. Like I never hit it straight. So there's a group in front of us on the green. And sure enough, I missile one. And it's going at the green. I'm like, oh boy. And all of a sudden you see like the guy standing on the green just kind of like step back and like, whoa, like whatever. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, of course. But
dude,
yeah, I'll hit up on you for sure if you're slow. And
dude, that's the best feeling when you hit it. Somebody's on the green and you drive the green and you're just on the tee like, hey, sorry, I hit long balls. Man.
Dude,
sorry, I hit bombs.
It was, I mean, I came up and they were like, all right, it's fine. No worries. Cause they were impressed.
Yeah.
They just didn't see that I 3-putted then. So
that's all right. They don't need to know that. That. All right, man. Well, have a good weekend. Thanks for doing this, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Ty.
Yeah, man.